up, y'all? I'm just out here on my regular trail. This is a few miles down the road from where I live at, which is really handy. But the bike that I'm riding is also street legal. It's that RPS Hawk 250. It's nothing special. It's not a Honda 450 or anything like that, but it gets me out on the trails. As you can see in the videos, it handles the trails quite well. Again, I'm not doing any motocross jumping or anything crazy with it, but she'll get me out here, she'll hit the trails, and mostly I bought it to ride with the kids. As I'm sure you've seen on my channel, my youngest son has a 50cc. My older son has a 125. His is still, you gotta fix a couple things on it. Every time he takes it out, he seems to break something new. But we're gonna get his fixed so you can see his out here riding too. I think there's a couple videos of him hitting some little jumps. But hopefully we can get all three of us out here riding one of these days. Get a GoPro going on all three bikes so we can catch all the footage for you guys. But out here today, I'm just out by myself, as I can get a little bit rowdier than I would with the kids, and enjoy the footage. I'm enjoying my time. Looks nice and muddy out here. Muddy. They put up cones. They apparently don't want us going over there, do they? I won't mess with their stuff. We'll just stay on the little trail that they created. There's a small little trail here. Sloppy dirt. like I'm not talking much. I'm just focusing on obstacles. I have no desire to go down today. Woo. Woo, that was fun. To whoever ever said Chinese bikes can't run the trails. I may not be motocross jumping the thing, but she'll run good. She'll take on whatever trails you throw at her. I'm going to take a quick break. And before I forget, make sure to like, subscribe, and share if you like what you see. That's what allows me to keep making these videos, keep coming out here having fun, and hopefully keep entertaining you. See you later. Welcome back, y'all. For this stretch of the ride, I'm just going to cruise a little bit so I can talk to y'all. So I originally bought this dirt bike just so that I could get into it, because my stepson was talking about wanting to do motocross and wanting to run dirt bikes. And me growing up, I was always into four-wheels. Four-wheelers, cars, trucks, mud trucks. Those were my forte. I rode two wheels. I've had a Honda Shadow 750 American Classic since I was 18, 19. And I've been riding that thing for years. So I've always enjoyed two wheels, but I kept them on the pavement. I picked this thing up. I didn't want to spend a fortune because I wasn't sure how much I'd be riding with it. So I bought this from Orion Power Sports online. It took them a couple months to get it to me because it's Chinese. But all in all, I think I paid 1,700 bucks to have this thing delivered in a crate to my door. Now don't get me wrong, Chinese engineers are not exactly the best at what they do. So it required some modifications here and there. I modified the airbox, new sprockets for better low-end power, and some other stuff with the valve lashing inside the motor. I can also do videos if y'all are interested in seeing those on how to do those modifications, but it's nothing too complicated, to be completely honest. I'm somewhat mechanically inclined. I do most of my own work, but as long as you can watch a YouTube video, you can follow the steps, you can do every modification to this bike that makes it run great. The only other thing to keep in mind, a lot of these Chinese bikes, when they're sent out with a lot of loose bolts. So you get yourself a nice big jug of Loctite Blue. Don't buy the red stuff, you won't be able to get the bike back apart. The Loctite Blue, you put that on all the screws and bolts and everything. Basically unbolts all the plastic bearings, any of the screws and bolts that are easily accessible, especially the smaller ones holding on turn signals and stuff like that. You put Loctite Blue on all those screws and tighten them back up, snug them up, and you don't got to worry about all your bolts falling out. So I mean, I've done all that to this bike. And as you can see, I've only got about 300 to 400 miles on this thing. So I don't ride it all the time, but the riding I do is what you see here. Me riding off-road, hitting mud, water, dirt, sand, even a couple small jumps. So it's a 400 rough miles, 300 rough miles. After the break-in period, obviously, about 100 miles that I did, with 2 oil changes during that. So all in all, I gotta say, for being a relatively cheap compared to Japanese bikes, Chinese bike, she holds up great for what I need her to do. And to top it all off, it's an Enduro, it's street legal. So they sent me a title with it, I took it down to the DMV and I got a tag put on it. I can drive this thing on the road, mind you. I'm not gonna take it on any highways. Top speed's about, I believe it says it goes like 65, but that engine really starts to whine at about 55. So I don't really push it much more than that. I'll take it on some local roads, but mostly just to drive it to where I'm going off-roading at, which is a huge perk than having to trailer it every time I want to go somewhere, especially if it's somewhere close by, like my little riding trails back here. But I've gotten to ride with the kids a lot with this thing, and for the $1,600 plus the modifications that I did to it, that some of them were necessary, some of them weren't, I'm all in with gear and everything probably just over 2 grand. And for the amount of riding I've gotten to do with my kids, teaching them how to ride, teaching them how to go off roads, getting them outdoors, getting them off the screens, getting them off the computers, it is 1,000,000% worth it. I mean, I could have spent 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand gone with some name brands. I mean, I could have even went KTM. I was looking at those for 14 or 15 grand. But this, 2 grand, it does what I want. I'm not planning on jumping the bike 30 feet in the air. I really have zero desire to do that. My everyday job, I own a business. I mean, my everyday job is using my arms, my legs, my head, my eyes. And I don't really feel like losing any one of those and jeopardizing my income. So I'm just looking to come out, have a good time. A lot of times I'll ride out here and I'll park up by my resting tree, as I call it, that you guys saw just a moment ago. And I'll just chill out there for 20, 30 minutes. Just kind of relax, where it's nice and quiet, away from concrete civilization and people and a lot of the stupidity in the world. Primarily keeping the phone off while I do it. So it's just a good time. If you're curious about whether you can figure out how to ride one of these, hit me up. I mean, or where to look, how to get one, modifications, leave a message in the comments, shoot me an email, motogamingdad@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to help you. I mean, it's so worth it, and it's really not all that hard. I mean, there's things that you can get into if you want to get into some of the technical stuff and jumps, and that can get pretty tricky and a little bit sketchy at times. But if you just want to go out and ride and have a good time and get away from civilization, it's perfect, and I absolutely love it. So after all that said, I'm going to go ahead and get back to riding. Talking a lot less because I'm going to be focusing on where I'm driving to make sure I'm not coming up on some major down trees or sticks or logs or giant poles that are filled with mud. Because this area back here, there's a lot of mud trucks that come back here and they'll dig deep ruts. So you got to be a little careful, you got to pay attention. So while I'm riding, I'm not talking much. That's why. But I appreciate y'all joining in. Like I said, reach out if you need anything. More than happy to talk and help you all out. But enjoy watching the ride. Sugary. Come on, baby. That sugar sand makes that tail just kind of fishtail on you. You gotta power it, push right through. Start letting up, that front tire will dig and you'll be in trouble. Nice dip I didn't see coming. crop circles when you come up on them. Wasn't sure what was coming there. Stay out of their construction site. This county out here, they're nice enough to not really get on your case about stuff. They don't send the cops out here to bust people very often. They let you ride. So the least you can do is respect when they build barriers. Don't go past them. The more you start breaking their laws, the more they're going to want you gone. You're just riding through and having fun. Generally, they don't give a shit. Just quit being assholes. Maybe they'll quit being assholes. At least in some cases. Woo! Coming up on another one of their barriers. This is the same little trail that we had earlier. Loose in here too. Like I said, I'm not one of those guys that goes crazy. I'm not drifting corners. I ain't trying to do nothing too nuts. I do want to get myself a nice set of, I'm a big fan of Alpine Star gear. So I do have an Alpine Star chest and back protector, arm protector, and Alpine Star boots I got my eyes on. I just don't have them yet. Once I have that gear, I might start getting a little crazier. So I want to make sure I'm protected before I do anything dumb. Well, too dumb. Sandcastle. Mud castle. We are actually back where we started at, but I'm going to go a little bit further. According to this, I still have half a tank. My oldest, he gives me a hard time. He says, why do you stay in such high RPMs? Why don't you shift? Well, because when I'm higher RPMs like that, I have more torque. More torque means more steering. I can hit that gas and I can cut the wheel, keep my traction and avoid an obstacle. Or if I come across some sugar sand real quick, I got the torque to rev it, push it through. If I'm lower gear like this, when I come across a big obstacle, I don't have as much power to move the bike. So I try to keep it up. Gives me more on-demand torque. Just want to keep it away from redline, obviously. There's a random tire out here. It's very random. A few of them. Out by the river looks like. Oh, and see this here, every time I come out here with the kids, I always get the, Dad, why don't you hit the jump? Dad, why don't you do the jump? I'm driving Enduro. I'm not driving on a motocross bike. I'm not trying to fly 20 feet in the air, come crashing down on this thing and watch it crumble beneath my legs. Good trail riding bike. It's not made for jumps, although it would be fun. Maybe the next bike, maybe when I finally get that KTM 450. Right here is one of my favorite spots to stop. Oh, looks like we might have some rain coming in. I might be tailing it out of here. Let's see when the bike's not running. It's quiet. It's just nice and peaceful. And that's what I say, I'll come out here and I'll sit for 30 minutes, especially if I'm having a rough day, bad week at work. Just come out, chill, get away from the stupidness of the real world, and enjoy some of the fun stuff and the slower paced. It's good to rewind, well, relax, not even rewind, just relax. Slow down. Everybody in this world's always trying to go a mile a minute, especially around where I live. Always in a rush to get somewhere. Car accidents all the time. People just nobody cares anymore. It's nice to just get out and relax. They used to call that stop and smell the roses. Well, even the sound of the rain's nice and soothing out here. Unless that cloud decides to really open up on me. It'll be a little less relaxing, a little more soaking. But it's already almost 6:30. I know the missus will be home soon with dinner. So we gotta get cooking soon. So I'm not gonna hang out for very long. Just gonna sit for a minute and enjoy. Ow. Alright, well, the rain's bringing out the mosquitoes, so we're gonna cut this break a little short and get moving again before we get eaten alive. They're in my helmet. Mosquitoes in your helmet is never a good thing. Roll back on home. Good ride. Hell, what in the hell? Well, I got the mosquito out of my helmet at least. Let's fix that real quick. Alright, now let's roll. Snap. Ooh, wet feet. Like I said, I don't have riding boots on. Ah. Woo. Got a little swampy through there. That was good stuff. That's a bumpy stretch right there. Not sure how much of it you can tell on camera, but I had to stand for most of that. There's the tires. Woo, big dip. Oh, got a little squirrely. Yeah, the bunny rabbit was racing. are back where we came in at. We're gonna bring it on home. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you like the video. Let me know what I can do different. Let me know what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. And I'll see if I can make it happen. You guys have a good one. Take it easy.